Hello. Today we're going to work on activity 1.2.5, sketches, extrusions, and revolutions. To get started, we're going to go on up to our data panel. We want to click on the home icon so that we can make sure we are in our main data panel. Okay, once you are in here, we are going to create a new project today. So you're going to click on New Project. You're going to title this project Unit 1. And once it saves, you'll have a Unit 1. I have two of them because I've already done this before. So double click on Unit 1. Oh, that's the wrong Unit 1 for me. Go back. Double click on Unit 1. Okay, and you should have an empty project there. There should be nothing in there. What we're going to do now is we're going to go up to Save in the Design window. We're going to go up to Save. You're going to title this 1.2.5 Sketches, Extrusions, Revolutions, and then put your first and last initial. You want to make sure that the location says Unit 1. If your location does not say Unit 1, click on the drop-down box over here. Find Unit 1 under the project name, and then you can close that drop-down box and then click Save. Your design now should be named up at the top 1.2.5 Sketches, Extrusions, Revolutions, and it should have your initials there, your first and last initial. Okay, first thing we're going to do is go to our document settings. We're going to click the arrow, and we want to look, it says units. For this project, we need to be in millimeters. So we're going to click on the Change Active Units icon, and then we're going to change the unit type to millimeters. Okay, and then click OK. Now we're set up and ready to go. First thing we're going to do is we can go up to Create. Now there's two ways to create a sketch. We can do Create and Create Sketch, or we can just click on Create Sketch up here in the toolbar. So we'll do Create, Create Sketch. Today we want to use the XY plane. So we're going to open up the views for the origin. And I can, in the origin on the browser, I can click XY, and it will take me to where I need to be. So I'm now in the XY plane. Now, there are often many ways to create a model using the different features and techniques. In this case, I want you to follow the instructions that I'm giving you to become familiar with the extrude and revolve tools. Once you become more familiar with it, then you can kind of experiment and explore with other ways to do things. So we're going to start off by clicking, we're going to go up to Create and Create Rectangle. We want the 2-point rectangle. We're going to come down here to the origin point, and you see when you hover over the middle here, there's a blue box that highlights. That means you are in the origin point. I'm going to click, and then I'm going to start dragging out. The bottom box, which is now highlighted, I want this to be 20. Then I'm going to hit the Tab key on my keyboard. It will take me to the other box. I'm going to make that 30. Now I'm going to go ahead and click Enter. So I should have a 20 by 30 rectangle. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click Finish Sketch. Okay, there we go. So now I have my sketch. And we're going to revolve this to turn this into a cylinder. So I'm going to go back up to Create. I'm going to go to the Revolve. For Profile, it automatically selects the rectangle because that's the only profile we have. We need to select our axis in which we're going to go ahead and rotate this on. We are going to select this the outer 30 millimeter edge. You can see it automatically takes it into a cylinder. We want this to say partial. We want it 360 degrees. We're going to do one side and new body. So everything else should be like this. So double check and make sure your settings are correct in the Revolve box, and then click OK. And now we have our cylinder. Next, make sure I'm in the right place. I think I forgot to put something on here. I did. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and put, oh, there we go. I got my notes in the wrong. We're going to put a square on top of the cylinder. So I'm going to click on top of my cylinder. So the top of my cylinder is now blue. I'm going to go up to Create. I'm going to click Sketch again. And this time I'm going to go up to Create, Rectangle. This time I want it to be a center rectangle. And if I go over on the top of my cylinder, you can notice when I'm in the center of my cylinder, it says place center point, and I have a blue circle there. That's where I want to click. And then I can start dragging out to form my square. Now I want to put 10. I'm going to hit Tab and 10 again, and then I can click Enter. At this point, we can go ahead and click Finish Sketch. And you can see we have a cylinder, and now we have a sketch of a square on top. We're going to go ahead and extrude this square. So I'm going to go up to Create. I'm going to now click on Extrude. Okay, it wants me to select a preference. Now it has type. There's two types. There's extrude, and then there's thin extrude. We want regular extrude. Profiles, we want to click the square that we just created. So now our square is highlighted. Then we want to go to distance, and we want to change our distance to 15 millimeters. So we're going to keep profile plane. We're going to keep one side. We're not going to put a taper angle. We want this to say Operation Join, and then we're going to click OK. And notice we now have extruded that square out of the cylinder. Now what we want to do is this area here where the square and the cylinder come in contact, we want to fillet that. So we want to kind of put a smooth rounding there. What we're going to do is we're going to go up to Modify. We're going to go to Fillet. I'm going to go ahead and click on each of these edges. Now I have to click on all 4 of the edges. So there's a couple ways you can do it. You can just kind of see when it goes through. There. Okay, so you want to make sure over here in the fillet box it says you have clicked 4 edges. We want to change this. Let me make sure 4, 5. Yep. We want to change this to 5 millimeters. We want everything else to stay the same, constant. We're going to keep everything else, and we're going to click OK. Now we have our fillets for that. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a chamfer at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead. You can either use your view cube so that you can see the bottom, or you can use your shift and middle mouse key so that you can see the bottom. Okay. So I just want to be able to see part of the bottom. I don't need to see the entire bottom at this point. I'm going to go up to Modify. I'm going to click on Chamfer this time. When the chamfer box opens where it says Type, I want this to say Distance and Angle. I'm going to select just the edge around the bottom of, and in here I'm going to select, I forgot to write down my measurements, give me just a second while I look it up. My chamfer measurements is going to be 5 millimeters and 30 degrees. We want everything else to stay. It's distance and angle, tangent chain, everything stays just like we have it, and we're going to click OK. Now the bottom of it is chamfered. And I can kind of rotate and I can see what that does for it. Okay, now we want to save. We're going to go up to Save again. My Fusion seems to be working slow today. Give it just a moment. Okay, once it comes open, you want the viewer version description to be today's date in numbers. So it's going to be 1/2/22. If you don't finish this on the 12th, then you're going to put whatever day it is that you finish it. So when you go to save it, whatever day it is, whatever the date is on the date that you save, that's the date you want to put. So each time you save it, you should have a new date on there. Okay, and then you are going to go ahead and click OK. And then you are going to go ahead and upload this in Canvas in the assignment called 1.2.5 Sketches, Extrusions, and Revolutions. Let me know if you have any questions.